Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome into Blues Game Day Live. Chris Kerber along with Darren Pang. And Panger, how's my tie?
Your tie's excellent. I like your white shirt. I see you got the memo on the white shirt.
And
the gray suit.
Yeah, not realizing it was going to be both of us, so we did not coordinate this. I mean, you obviously do TV.
You did your hair the same way as I did?
Yeah, I did. I did my hair this morning. Now I got to ask you this. Okay, so let's talk about these hard to get hairstyles that both of us have. Part of it is genetic, and then part of it is, of course, grooming. What is your schedule in terms of how often do you take it down? Is it once a week? Is it once every few days?
Every 2 days.
Every 2 days?
Yeah.
Every 2 days?
Yeah.
I tend to let mine go about a week or so. Now I look like I'm a little bit more like a chia pet before the growth. It looks like I have potential, but if it comes in, you could see that I'd have to do the comb over.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I agree.
You could see how that goes.
I agree.
Now, do you don't actually take a razor to the top part, do you?
I just take the buzzers.
Yeah, I don't do that
tight
either.
as I can.
I don't do that either.
Yeah.
This is important stuff on how we start a game day.
I think it is.
You got to start a game day looking good and feeling good.
Then there's a lot more makeup on the TV side to cover that up.
True.
You know,
that is true. How's our glare? Like, look, go like this. Do we have a glare?
No, it's not bad.
No glare today?
All right.
Listen, game day. Love game days. Exciting game days. Probably the only thing that gets, like, say, a John Kelly going more so than this might be pocket aces, at the old poker table there. But Blues and Vancouver Canucks. Before we talk about tonight's game, let's talk about the previous game and a terrific effort against the Edmonton Oilers. When we talk about good teams find a way to respond, and I think response might be the key word for that game for the Blues, don't you think?
I think we were all prepared for a really good effort, whether they won or lost the game in Edmonton. I think the way that they prepared, they had an off day, and then they really went to work on that next day. The details, it reminded me a little bit of training camp, the way that they went back to D-zone coverage, breaking out of your own zone, making sure that the gaps are a lot tighter. And when this team needs a reset button, they do it. I think they're a mature group of guys, as we've found out over the last couple of years. They've got a core group of guys that'll drag everybody right back into it. They don't accept losing, and so they didn't have to win that next game to build on it. But they ended up playing a complete, total, team effort. And everybody was on the same page. Everybody paid a price in that game. And it didn't come without sacrifice in that game as well, because guys put their bodies on the line.
Well, they did. And one of those guys was Oscar Sundqvist, blocking a couple of shots, and one right after another on the penalty kill. And I think the enduring shot of that is not only blocking the two, but using his left leg to propel him while he's on his hands and knees to the bench. And by the time Jake freezes the puck, you've got Oscar half in the bench, half out, still on his hands and knees. And that was the kind of team fight that team had in that game.
I would agree with you on that, Curbs. And it just goes to show you that this league is full of parity, that you have to have everybody in it. And there's a whole bunch of sayings that you can have. You're all pulling on the same rope. You all have the oars in the water, what have you. But I did feel like from the Brodziak line with Scotty Upshall driving hard to net, to Thorburn fighting, to the Oscar Sundqvist line playing a really determined game. I like Payarvi's game as well. And I thought that the third and fourth lines, I thought they dragged the other guys as much as anything. So there's a lot of things to really, really like about that game. Can you back it up with that kind of effort, again, against a team like Vancouver that's a little different than what they were before? They've got a lot of good, strong, young players, a little quicker now with the Sedins moving to a little bit of a different role and getting less ice time. So this will be a real big test here. Sacrificing your body in Edmonton, now coming here to Vancouver and having to do the same thing.
Yeah, normally, shoot, for the last 16-plus years, you come into Vancouver and you circle the Sedin twins are leading the team in points, those kind of things. You look at the sheet today, and it's a 20-year-old in Brock Besser. It's a 22-year-old in Bo Horvat that are leading the way. And those are the guys now you have to contend with. But you cannot still forget about the dynamic duo because, we say it on the air all the time. I mean, those guys were passing peas back and forth in the womb. And that's when their hockey career started. So you do have to contend with them. But the one thing that I think might surprise some folks, and I know, look, the Vancouver Canucks started with a terrific record, getting 5 out of their first 8 games with wins, and then they've stumbled just a little bit. But they have been one of the stingiest defensive teams in the league this season.
They have been. They're playing under their new coach, Travis Green, who's really in tune and in touch with the game today. He's done extremely well at the American Hockey League level, a longtime NHL player. I think he's got a personality that doesn't, it doesn't wear you down. He doesn't have hockey talk or hockey jargon, coach speak. He just coaches the game, and I think these players really respect Travis. They're playing a real mindful defensive game. But you're right about the young players have taken this over, yep. And that's where like the battle in the middle of the ice is going to be fun tonight. You know, I think that Sutter's played really, really well for them. That line with Derek Dorsett has been a real big surprise, and Granlund's on that line. So, yeah, we are going to look at different areas of the game. Now, the Sedins still get the offensive zone faceoffs. So they're only averaging about 13 minutes a night. But when they're in the offensive zone and they start cycling again, look out. Jake Virtanen's on the right side. He's a young, speedy forward that's a right-hand shot, and he complements them. So, I mean, the hands are going to be full here in tonight's game.
And one of the keys to a successful transition, and by successful, I also mean successful in the win department, not just is older players like that accepting a role. And then that could be it's not necessarily an easy thing right now, especially with both those guys as unrestricted free agents at the end of the year, having played their whole careers here.
Yeah, I do believe that the Sedins, they're two pretty mature guys and pretty knowledgeable guys, and everybody has such great respect for them. I think when the time comes, and when you're in your final year and your minutes go from 20 to 13 to maybe at the end of the year maybe it's 11, I think they'll see where this team is going and won't make much of a fuss about it. And maybe they both end up going back to Sweden, to their hometown, and finishing their careers there. But I'll tell you one thing about the Sedins, that I just think they're gentlemen. They're competitive and they're gentlemen.
John Kelly. We saw him.
There goes John Kelly, everybody.
There he goes. Great John Kelly.
He's like the Sedins. He just kind of.
Did you see him just sneak right in and out of here? I mean, I didn't realize he was that sleuth-like.
Yeah, I mean, he's not.
No, he's not. He's not. Once we get his pipes going tonight, we're going. All right, final game of the road trip tonight. You can catch the game on Fox Sports Midwest, also on KMOX, and a chance for the Blues to end the road trip on that high note, because it's an important one, because you're going home now for your longest homestand of the year of 5 games.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. And then it's back out on the road again. So, but every time you're on a road trip like this, which it's been odd because there's been a lot of days in between, only 3 games being played, but you want to be above 500. It's a big one for the flight home. Feel good about yourself, and then you've got to really regroup and turn that around, and you've got Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers on Tuesday night, so which is always exciting, knowing that he returns to St. Louis, where he played his very first NHL game, by the way.
That is true.
And
being that we're on social media, we might as well mention that game on the 21st is social media night.
Oh, is it?
So if you go to stlouisblues.com/theme, you click on the social media night, it'll give you the special code, and with the purchase of a ticket, you get a T-shirt that's got 3 Blues players emojis on it. Do you know what an emoji is?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
All right.
I click it on the left, and I can find a whole bunch of them over there.
There you go.
At Panger 40.
At Panger 40.
Okay. So that'll be good. Yeah. That'll be a fun night there. But let's finish it off here tonight. Wade Megan may or may not get in the lineup. Oscar Sundqvist, as we mentioned, with that block shots, a number of them actually in the last couple of games. He did not skate yesterday. So he got some therapy. Mike Yeo just said that we'll figure it out tomorrow by game day. But obviously, you'd see Wade Megan slide in there. The one part of that, Wade Megan doesn't kill penalties, and Oscar Sundqvist does. And it's another left-hand shot. They're lacking the righties, and Sundqvist was doing a great job on that second power play unit as well, and also on the PK. So I mean, we don't talk a lot about him because he's a third-line guy, but I think his game has been really elevated. They would miss his. I think his compete level that he's done such a great job with.
Well, after the 6 penalties in the first period in the last game, which was more a bit of a response to the way that the Edmonton Oilers came out, the Blues' discipline was excellent. No penalties in the second, none in the third. We're playing a Vancouver Canucks team that has had, 4 or more penalty kills in 4 straight games prior to their last game. In their last game against Vegas, they didn't have any penalty kills. So a very disciplined Vancouver team coming into tonight's game as well, at least based on their last game.
Yep. So I'm looking forward to seeing Brock Besser play. Yeah. I mean, he's got a point a game as a rookie. He seems like he's a really even-keeled guy. He scored 3 goals in a game. I don't even think he put his arms up. I think that's fun to watch these.
Do it like he's been there.
Yeah, exactly right. He gave it the old Hully, which is kind of nice,
Which is very different, by the way, and I love going back to this. Alexander Havanov, maybe one of my greatest all-time favorite goal-scoring celebrations, scores his first goal in the National Hockey League, throws his hands in the air, he's backing up to center ice, tosses one glove this way, tosses the other glove that way. Classic.
Yeah, that is a classic.
That one was a beauty. Yeah. All right, Panger, have a good call tonight on the old TV
Sounds
side.
Good. I'll try to find John Kelly wherever I can grab him. He's probably listening to his son Patrick's.
It's kind of like, where in the world is Carmen
Soccer.
San Diego? He just walked by in a trench coat and went looking for details.
Well, that's him. That's my partner.
That is
He's
what
ready
he
to
does.
roll.
All right, folks. Again, a game tonight on Fox Sports Midwest, also on the radio side on KMOX. Enjoy the game tonight, and we'll see you at the homestand. Blues and Edmonton Oilers Tuesday night when we return back to St. Louis.